So if you're thinking about moving to Japan, or if it's been in your plans for a very long time, or maybe you're just considering it at the moment, I think there's a few important things that you should keep in mind, especially if you're coming here as a business owner or as an entrepreneur. And one of those things, or I would say the first of those things, is considering the importance of size. And what I mean by that is that Tokyo is quite literally the biggest city in the world, and if you account for the metropolitan area, it has over 37 million people. And what that means for your business is that, well, of course, you'll have an exponentially larger corner of the market to explore, but you'll also have an exponentially larger amount of competitors or other similar businesses. And so that means that for you, for the health of your business, you need to find creative, new and innovative ways to expand your business, to make your business stand out among all the others. For us, I think lately that's been one of the main things we've been focusing on. I guess maybe that's why I'm making a video about that today. How to market and promote your business in new and creative ways. But well, given the sector of the market that we're in, I guess it's quite a niche corner of the market. And for those of you who might not know, we're actually in the music education business. That's why you see me carrying my violin always with me. And as I said, because it's such a niche corner of the market, that gives us actually quite good potential to get a hold of it and some good space for growth as well. And for you, for your business, what that means is that when you come to Japan, it's essential to find those particular traits and qualities that will make your business stand out in a different way among that great sea of competitors that you'll find in your way. And so our next point is actually something I've talked about in some of my other videos, and that's the concept of low context and high context languages. Just to keep it simple, it's generally understood that Western cultures tend to be low context cultures or have low context languages, and proportionately Eastern cultures or Asian cultures in general tend to lean more towards the high context side of things. What that means, and please take it as I mean it, is that Western languages in general tend to have less inherent meaning to them. That means that we might use a lot more words to express a particular idea, and we also draw most of our information from the words being spoken. Whereas, in contrast, Eastern languages tend to, well, first of all, the words tend to have a lot more inherent meaning, and they tend to draw a lot more information from other aspects of communication. Not only the verbal word, but also body language, the interaction between the two people, what kind of position they have in the hierarchy of society, and what kind of relationship they have as well. And so what that means is that when you're having a conversation with someone else, there are lots of things that are left unsaid because of this high context. There's a few words that are said, but there's a lot of meaning behind them. So when you come to Japan, it's kind of your job also to learn how that works, to be able to successfully navigate interpersonal relationships, whether personal relationships or business relationships here in Japan. And of course, it goes without saying that one of the best and most effective ways of doing that is by interacting and communicating directly with the locals, because you might take all the language lessons you want, but there are certain aspects of cultural interactions that you might not learn through just language lessons. And that makes me think actually of a couple of examples when it comes to how the relationship between a business owner or an employee and the customer is a little bit different from other parts of the world. Here, generally, the customer is higher in the hierarchical system compared to you, the business owner or the employee. So whenever you address your customer or your client, you use a particular aspect of Japanese language called keigo, which is actually imbued with all sorts of reverence and respect towards the person you're talking to. And now you'll say, yeah, but I know a guy that he did. Yeah, I know. But that's how things work here. And on the other side, if you have to, for example, give them something by hand, it is generally expected that you'll use both hands to do it. Never really hand someone something with one hand because it's seen as a little bit disrespectful, and always make sure that it's facing the right way. For example, if you're giving your client their credit card back, you give it to them with both hands and you make sure that it's facing them and not you. As well as cash, for example, I found it quite impressive that many people, when they exchange cash, the bills are always completely crisp and pristine, and most times they also even put them inside specific envelopes just to show you like the care and respect that they have when doing those types of transactions. And the next thing I wanted to talk about is actually not being afraid to ask for help. Now, when you come to Japan, you might find that there are many things that you could have done back home that you're not able to do here. And that's, I guess, one of the main principles of business ownership, is that you have to be able to delegate. And that applies even more here in Japan. Back home, I was the kind of person who liked to do most things myself. And frankly, I had a bit of a hard time delegating responsibilities. But when I came here to Japan, I understood that, well, for many reasons, one of them being the language barrier, I was not able to do many of the things that I wanted. We came here, we started doing our taxes ourselves, we started doing all sort of paperwork for our business ourselves, and quite soon we realized that was putting a lot of unnecessary things on our plate. So at the end we decided to delegate all those responsibilities to other people that are frankly much better than us at doing them. So when you come to Japan, don't be afraid to get all the kind of people you need. Get translators, get interpreters, get people to help you transcribe or translate documents that might need to be translated. And I assure you that's going to make your life 100 times easier. And there you have it. That's a bit of an improvised video for you today. So I hope you found it useful. If you have any questions, make sure to let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to learn more, make sure you watch this video right here. In the meantime, take care, and I'll see you next time.